Hello, my name is Kim, and in this reading, we are going to find out how your relationships will develop or flourish this Gemini season. So we will get information about your relationship with self, your relationship with others, and your romantic love life. For romantic love, regardless of whether you are in a committed relationship, are dating or seeing someone, or are currently single, this part of the reading may apply to you if you are open to the messages, since it is not exclusive to a specific relationship status. Okay? Now, there are two groups to choose from, each one represented by a different instrument. So for group 1, we have the Soprano saxophone, and group 2 is the Zither instrument. So please take your time to meditate on the options if you'd like, and whichever instrument you are drawn to, then that will be the reading for you. And once you have chosen, please head on over to the description box and or the pinned comment in the comment section down below, where the timestamp for each instrument or option is provided, so that you may skip right ahead to your reading. Okay, but if you are ready, let us get started. Let's go. For those of you who chose the soprano saxophone, during Gemini season, you may be experiencing some nostalgia as well as romanticism. I am seeing a lot of winding down in the evenings and creating a very specific ambience or atmosphere that allows for you to comfortably get in your feels, daydream or reminisce about very specific moments and or times in your life. Okay, but let us move on to the rest of the cards. For your relationship with self, we have the 9 of Wands. For your relationship with others, we have the Moon. For your romantic love life, we have the Emperor. Interesting. I will now pull out a clarifier for each. To clarify the 9 of Wands, we have friendship with, in life, have a friend that is like a mirror and shadow. Mirror doesn't lie and shadow never leaves. To clarify the Moon, we have fertility with the fertility cycle is a cycle entirely of living creatures, passing again through birth, growth, maturity, death, and decay. And to clarify the Emperor, we have prosperity with your mind as a powerful thing. When you fill it with positive thoughts, your life will start to change, as well as dance. Certain things in life simply have to be experienced and never explained. Love is such a thing. Okay. At the start of the reading, I was sensing wistfulness, and the 9 of Wands is a card that often indicates fatigue from being on an ongoing battle. It is therefore a card of persistence, perseverance. Now in the illustration, we do have a depiction of someone who appears to be a little down and lost in their thoughts. So this Gemini season, I see you thinking about your life a lot and wondering about the future. But more so, I feel like in Gemini season, you are going to find yourself looking back on your journey a lot and looking inwards as well. And interesting that I mentioned the illustration gave off this feeling of someone being lost in their thoughts, because all I'm picking up on is silence. And the only thing I do hear in my mind is someone sighing in contemplation. So it seems that during this season, you are, in a way, settling in with yourself, making amends with certain things, and finding comfort in where you are right now. Yes, I do see you thinking on the past and wondering about certain things, but I'm not really sensing any feelings of regret or remorse. It's more like someone who finally has the time, or is finally taking the time to look back on certain things and really process them, digest them, and contemplate on them. Like, yes, this happened the way that it did, yet now that I think about it, I would have liked if it had played out this way. And the reason why is... And so I do see a lot of raw emotion during Gemini season, but it all feels very soft. So this season you might be quite sentimental, or as mentioned, be quite in your feels, because there is a lot of honesty coming from you, and it's very beautiful because you also got the friendship card. So this lets me know that this season you aren't being hard on yourself. You are choosing to be your own friend. You are choosing to be there for yourself. And we do have the words mirror and shadow. So you are self-reflecting. You are standing in front of the mirror, and in doing so, you're not turning away from anything that is being reflected back at you. You are getting in touch with not only that which you already knew, but also that which you were hiding from yourself. Shadow makes me think of shadow aspects of those innermost parts of ourselves that we often run away from or turn away from, things that maybe in the past we felt ashamed of or guilty about, as well as truths that we kept hidden from ourselves, that we kept secret in order to protect ourselves or to keep an illusion alive. In this season, you are getting connected with all those aspects of yourself. You're getting, as mentioned previously, raw and honest with yourself. And this is allowing for a lot of release and relief, because I'm getting such a light-hearted energy here. So all this sentimentality, contemplation, self-reflection won't be heavy. It will be light enough for you to process in a way that is relieving and very, very healing for you. So you are bestowing upon yourself a lot of compassion as well as understanding. You are becoming your most loyal and trustworthy friend, because as the message says, you're not lying to yourself and you're not abandoning yourself. You're choosing to be there for you, even when it gets tough, even when it gets rough, even when what needs to be addressed and or said is not, let's say, pretty. And this illustration demonstrates so much love. So as you process and digest, as you self-reflect, you are not being cruel with yourself. Yes, you're being honest, yet you're not being cruel with your honesty, which this in itself is allowing for you to release what needs to be released and for you to move on from what it is that you need to move on from. For you to find your strength once again in order to stand up tall and with courage to keep on moving forwards. So in this season, I do see you taking some kind of break, and it could be from, fighting yourself. It could be from being very critical of yourself. It could also be from fighting your own emotions, your own feelings, from trying to keep certain truths from yourself. If you had built walls around your heart or walls around yourself, like a fence, for example, this season, you're asking yourself why. And if these are walls that you want to keep having around you or around your heart, whether you are truly protecting yourself or simply running away or hiding from something. So in my mind's eye, I just saw ice melting. So I feel like this season, the warmth that you are providing yourself is allowing for any ice that was freezing something in place to start melting. Because after this season, or it could be within this season, I see something blossoming, something unfurling or unfolding, I see you coming out of something that maybe in the past you really struggled to get out of. This season, you're coming out of it with so much grace and even ease, because there's no more resistance. You're not battling or fighting your way through. You're simply walking out of this willingly with your head held high. Because honestly, whatever it is that was holding you back, or you felt was holding you back, for example, or you felt you were stuck in, was possibly a fear that you had. It was maybe your own notions, your beliefs, your own hesitation. And so this season you are releasing this hesitation, which is allowing for you to walk out of whatever this was freely, without struggle. So when it comes to your relationship with self, I see improvement, I see love, I see compassion and understanding, as well as loyalty and solidarity. You being there for yourself. You are establishing a beautiful friendship with yourself, your inner self, and even past versions of yourself. Now, when it comes to your relationship with others, we have the moon, which is a card that often indicates hidden truths, mysticism, the occult, one's psyche, the subconscious mind, as well as one's innermost feelings and their emotions. The moon can also often represent illusions, as well as secrecy. So again, I see you being quite contemplative this season and connecting with your environment, with others, in a more profound, intuitive, and emotional way. This season, you might be very sensitive to the emotional state or moods of others. You might find yourself connecting quite easily or more easily, without much effort really, with how others are feeling. So your empathy levels will be at a high, at a peak this season, because I am sensing a lot of not only empathy but also empathic senses during this season. You might find yourself retreating at times, because being disconnected with others or with your environment can end up being a bit overwhelming at times, especially if others are experiencing really strong emotions, because you will be able to pick up on that. And at times it might even feel like what others are feeling, you yourself are feeling, as if they were your own emotions and or experience. So you might choose to retreat. And I'm picking up on silence with this illustration in the moon card. So there could be moments in which you are choosing to be in silence in order to better sense your environment, or to allow yourself a reprieve from everything that you are picking up on intuitively, empathetically. So I see you being quite observative this season and feeling much appreciation for those who are around you, because I see you observing the people around you, but with so much love, care, and affection. Like, I keep being drawn to this person's natural blush, and it just makes me think of someone who is so intrigued and enthralled by the humanness of others, by their ability to feel or to process such complex sensory information as emotions. Also, I see you having much appreciation for sentient beings. So not only humans, but also animals. And so this season you might find yourself being very connected or feeling very connected to nature, to animals, to people, to living beings, sentient beings, because we do have fertility here, which represents life, the cycles of life, right? So there could be an intrigue about life cycles, life stages, about the emotional capacity of others, the emotional spectrum, because I know not everyone experiences emotions the same way, right? So if there isn't a high level of empathy, let's say, or if there is not a lot of emotional expression during Gemini season, then this could be simply you gaining a curiosity about human emotions, the emotional spectrum, about how other sentient or just living beings connect, their way of communicating, their way of expressing. Some of you could actually be studying that. For example, psychology or something to do with maybe biology. But it feels like something is awakening within you. And because of this, you are not perceiving your environment, the world, others the same. You are finding a deeper connection with the world around you, with others, and also finding a deeper meaning to life, or what it means to be alive, or possibly even give life. Because we do have a full moon here in the background. If you are sexually active, or if you have been planning on conceiving or on becoming a parent, you might very well be conceiving or giving birth during Gemini season. Or if not, you may be adopting. And because we do have a human in the fertility card and we do have an animal in the moon card, you may either be adopting a child, a human child, or you could be adopting an animal, or both. It could be both. But I do see you guys integrating or welcoming a new member into your family this month. So this could be a newborn, this could be an animal companion, this could be a grown human person, like an in-law, for example, or a spouse, or an entire family if you are marrying. But I do see your family, could be your immediate family or your larger family, expanding during Gemini season. This season, you may be invited to or be hosting a gender reveal party, or if you are expecting, you will find out or maybe be given a hint of what the sex of your baby is. Or you might be finding out that you or someone that you know of, someone that you're close to, is with child. So I feel that this month you are really finding it easier to connect with others, or you yourself might be getting out of your own way to better understand human communication, human connection, empathy, for example, or specific relationship dynamics or types, for example, the relationship between a parent and their child. Yeah, so things that felt unclear to you or felt like an unknown when it came to these topics or this subject about human connection or connection, emotions, empathy, life, etc., you are finding answers or more clarity about them during Gemini season, and therefore a better understanding of that which at some point seemed like a huge mystery to you. Now, lobsters, full moons, and or babies, newborns, or images, illustrations, symbolism of birth, life could be of significance during Gemini season. And the 18th of June could be an important day. Now, for your romantic love life, we have the Emperor, which is associated with the zodiac sign Aries. So you might be an Aries sun, moon, or rising person, or there could be an Aries sun, moon, or rising person who will play a significant role in your life. Yet if that is not the case, then I do sense that someone who has a lot of fire-like qualities or traits, or a lot of qualities and traits of the Emperor, will be playing a significant role in your romantic love life during Gemini season. Now, this is someone who is very dependable, well established, and who is well known in their respective field or in a community, maybe in an industry, or they do have some level of authority. This is someone who has a very prominent and or important role. The Emperor is someone who is self-sufficient, someone who is financially stable and secure, and has a really good idea of who they are, what they want, and what they stand for. This person doesn't need to be told what to do, or how to feel, or what to believe. They think for themselves. They have no trouble or difficulty formulating their own opinions about things. And based on the illustration, I feel like this Emperor is representing the energy of someone who is also quite contemplative, who takes the time to go within, to introspect. They are someone who is very intuitive, very insightful, and empathic as well. They can read people quite well and detect when, at least to their standards and their values, someone is trustworthy or not. So if they deem you trustworthy, they will have no hesitation in answering your questions or sharing with you, if you do ask, what they're thinking, what they're feeling, what their opinion about something is. So with prosperity and dance, whoever this person is, they do have something going. When it comes to career, business, finances, they are well secure in their career, in their profession. They have a lot of experience in what they do. So I don't see this person really worrying about money, at least not for or during Gemini season, because it seems like in that department, everything is taken care of, or he has made sure that everything is taken care of. Yeah, I feel like this Emperor has already accomplished a lot of their goals by this point. And so maybe all they are looking for, or all they are wanting at this point, is company, companionship. And so as mentioned, this Emperor knows what they want. They know what they're looking for. They know what is important to them. This isn't someone who is desperately looking for love and affection or companionship. They are simply open and ready for it. Because with prosperity, this is someone who isn't only abundant in the material sense, but they are abundant within themselves. They have mental stability, mental clarity, because there isn't inner turmoil. By this point, I don't see this Emperor experiencing inner conflict. So if you're currently in a committed relationship, then this Emperor might be very well representing your significant other, your partner. And this season, I see you dancing with your significant other. You could literally be going out to dance with them, or you could find yourself spontaneously dancing with your partner in the privacy of your home, for example. But what I'm getting with dance is, a beautiful flow between you and your partner, reciprocity, right? Where there's moments in which someone leads and someone follows because there is trust. So I am seeing trust in the relationship. I am seeing cooperation, collaboration, and empathy as well. I love this illustration because we have these two people, holding each other's hands and their foreheads touching. And so it makes me think of speaking not through words, but speaking through actions. Like having spent so much time with someone that you know them by heart. You can interpret their behavior, their gestures, without them needing to communicate anything to you. It's like you know what the other is about. You know when they are feeling low, when they are feeling happy. You get one another in a very intimate and emotional way. It's something that doesn't have to be explained because it is felt. So I see you feeling and being very connected with your significant other during Gemini season. And this is reminding me of the Lover's card in traditional tarot, which is a card that is associated with the zodiac sign Gemini. And the Lover's card can often talk about telepathy. So there could be a little bit of telepathic communication going on during this season, or it could be this thing where you just look at each other from across the room and you know what the other one is thinking. Like, for example, if you attend a party and then one of you already wants to go home, you simply have to look at each other and the other will know, oh, okay, my partner is ready to go home. They are tired. It's this thing where verbal communication might not be needed because gestures, the glint in your eyes is enough to know what the other one is feeling or wanting, and so forth. But this doesn't discard the importance of honest, open communication, because with dance, that is what I'm seeing between you and your partner. There is beautiful communication between you both. Like, you have reached a point in your relationship where you can be honest with one another, where you can be sincere, because you trust one another. That's what dance represents. Trusting someone enough that you allow them to lead every once in a while. So I see this beautiful dance where someone might lead one day and the other might lead the other day. And that is okay, because you're taking turns. It's this beautiful flow. And for those of you who are seeing someone, dating someone, I see you being in this phase of your connection where you're getting to trust one another more. And like I said, you might actually be going out to dance with this person, or you might be sharing a beautiful, intimate moment whilst you're dancing. And as mentioned with the Emperor, I'm not sensing any desperation or, let's say, clinginess or chasing going on here, because with dance, there's no chasing. So I'm seeing reciprocity where you don't feel like you have to chase, because you know that your feelings are reciprocated. You know that your person or your person of interest is in it with you. Their intentions, their feelings for you are very, very clear, and you make your intentions and feelings very clear to your person. So there's again that trust. And for those of you who are single, this season you will be attracting possibly an Emperor. And I feel it's because, so remember, based on the law of attraction, we attract not what we want, but what we are, like the energy we are sending out, the energy we are embodying. So you are attracting an Emperor because this is the energy that you are embodying yourself. One of stability, one of patience even, one of openness. With dance, in this dynamic, I'm not seeing anyone trying to dominate. It's partnership, right? So you are attracting a partner, someone who is wanting to be in a partnership, in a mutual reciprocal relationship. And actually, some of you could be meeting your partner while you're out and about, or something beautiful, magical may spark from a dance. So you end up dancing with someone, and that's when you feel a spark or a connection or something blooms. That's when you maybe know instinctively or intuitively that you have come across an Emperor, your Emperor. And this dance card with prosperity, and there's all this golden yellow hue, it makes me think of like warmth and familiarity, or just comfort, contentment. So when you are with this person, or what this person sparks in you, yes, it might be passion, but it's not ultimately or necessarily that. It's more like trust, against trust, and it's very comfortable. Looking into this person's eyes is easy. This person, what they inspire in you is security and stability. So what you might experience is your heart rate becoming steady. Any tension you are holding in your body dissipating, you feeling relaxed, you feeling at peace. And the Emperor is known as a protector, someone who is very protective. So I feel like you are able to relax in the presence of this person because you feel protected by them. You feel safe in their company, in their presence. There's no alarms, instinctual or intuitive alarms going off when you're with this person. And they feel the same about you. Because like I said, this person is very intuitive, and I sense that you are very intuitive as well. And you can pick up on the energy quite easily. So you guys are able to sense in each other that you can let your guard down because it is safe to do so. And like I said, the Emperor has no trouble being patient. And so if this is someone new that you are meeting during Gemini season, the connection will be there from the very beginning, but how this relationship develops might be slowly. And it's not because there's wariness, there's hesitation, there's doubt. It's more like you're allowing for gentleness. You're simply taking your time to get to know one another, to open up to one another. And it also feels like consideration because you're opening up slowly to one another so that it won't be overwhelming for either one of you. And there's no hurry, there's no rush. There is no need to push or force for anything. since there is no mistrust or fear in this connection or relationship. And I'm even sensing feelings of certainty, like being certain of one another. You and this person might see each other as life partner material. Now, if you are in a relationship, you or your partner or both of you will be doing financially well, and therefore there will be no money concerns this season. And because I didn't mention life partner, some of you might actually be either getting engaged or married this season, because this dance card is making me think of the couple dance or that special dance in the wedding ceremony. And the illustration in the dance card is making me think of vows, vowing commitment or love to one another. But it could also be that some of you are renewing your vows, or you are celebrating an anniversary with your partner this season. And if you are in a relationship and you have been with your partner for a significant amount of time now, you and your partner might be reminiscing about the past, maybe telling stories about when you met, your first encounter, how you fell in love, how you came together, or recreating moments of the past. If you married in a church or inside a building, this season you might be revisiting that place, and that could be triggering or bringing up memories of the past. And if your life partner has already passed on, if they are currently on the other side, I see you thinking of them this season. You will feel their presence, and if you always feel them around you, you will feel their presence even more keenly this season, and you might be dreaming of them a lot. Now, a few things I want to point out before I wrap up your reading. I forgot to mention with the moon that the zodiac sign Pisces is associated with it. So you yourself could be a Pisces sun, moon, or rising person, or maybe someone who is a Pisces sun, moon, or rising person will be playing a significant role in your life during this season. This could be someone that you have a platonic, familial relationship with, or Pisces season in and of itself could be of importance. But let's see, this season, some of you could be contemplating on becoming a parent. You might be craving or longing for parenthood or a child. Yeah, and that might be something new for some of you. Also, if you are currently in a relationship and you and your person have a song, this song will be playing. It could be at a ceremony, at an event, or somewhere that you happen to be in, or it will be playing or popping up a lot throughout Gemini season. And if you're currently seeing or if you're meeting someone for the very first time this season, I do see you having a song. There could be a song playing when you meet this person, and then that becomes your song, or the song that is playing when you first dance with your person might end up being your song. Yes, but these are all the messages I am seeing for you guys. I hope you enjoyed this reading. I hope it brought some guidance, some clarity. If it did, then please leave a like or a comment. And if you're new to this channel and you want to stick around for more readings with me, Kim, then please do subscribe. I do offer personal readings. All the information is in my website, and the link to my website can be found in the description box down below. For all of you who took the time to watch the advertisements or simply let them run in the background, thank you so much for that, since that is the simplest way to support me and to support this channel. So if you did, I truly do appreciate it. And before I sign off, I want to give a thanks to Spirit, who assisted me with delivering these messages to you, as well as your higher self and the higher self of your significant other, present and or future, for assisting me with delivering these messages to you. I'm wishing you and your loved ones a wonderful and pleasant Gemini season, and until the next moment, bye bye. For those of you who chose the Zither instrument, someone here might be quite the romantic. They might believe in that kind of fairy tale romance or love. They might really enjoy reading tales, stories of whimsical or eternal love kind of thing. And if this is not you or your energy, this might be the energy of someone who you are in a relationship with, whether it be platonic or romantic, and who will be playing a significant role in your life during Gemini season. But I keep thinking of the medieval times of knights in their shining armor, princesses, that kind of thing. Also, I don't know why, but the Legend of Camelot King Arthur, Guinevere, Lancelot could be of significance for some of you, or it could be important or highlighted, come up in conversation, or you might be reading into it, learning more about it, might be watching a movie based on it sometime during Gemini season. Okay, but let us now move on. Oh, also, some of you could be attending a medieval fair or dressing up in medieval attire, or just be really drawn to the medieval ages during Gemini season. And finding much inspiration from that era or from the history, the lore, etc. Okay, but when it comes to your relationship with self, we have the Star, which is the 17th major arcana. Beautiful. Oh, those are too many cards, so actually, no, I'll take them. When it comes to your relationship with others, we have the Ace of Wands as well as the Emperor. Okay, these are coming out quick. And pertaining to your romantic love life, we have the Eight of Pentacles and the Hanged Man, which is the 12th major arcana. Okay, and let's see if they all fit, because now I'm going to pull out clarifiers for each. I was feeling nervous at the start of this reading, and now I'm feeling a little bit more calm. And that nervous feeling is dissipating. Okay, to clarify the Star, we have fertility. Interesting. With the message, the fertility cycle is a cycle entirely of living creatures passing again through birth, growth, maturity, death, and decay. I said interesting because so far there are 2 cards in your spread that also came up for group 1. And to clarify your relationship with others, we have power. With obstacles are placed in our way to see if what we want is really worth fighting for. Interesting message. Okay, and for your romantic love life, okay, we have magic with work in the invisible world at least as hard as you do in the visible. Okay, I felt really excited when I saw this card because at the start of the reading, before pulling out any of these cards here, I was going to mention that I felt a hint of magic in the energy, or someone here really believed in magic or was very magical themselves. But I held myself back in saying that because I thought it might be a little too much or cringy. But then this magic card popped up. And with the Star card, which is associated with the zodiac sign Aquarius, which is a sign that is very eclectic, eccentric. It's often known as the alien of the zodiac because it's so otherworldly, so magical, I will say. So yeah, some of you might be an Aquarius sun, moon, or rising sign, or you might have your Venus in Aquarius possibly, or Mercury in Aquarius. But the Star does represent faith, hope. It can also speak of wish fulfillment. And when I mentioned that I felt nervous at the start of this reading, and then as I connected more with the energy of this group, I began to feel calm and relaxed. I did feel called to say that this experience of mine might be an indicator that you during this season will feel quite relaxed or will not find yourself being nervous or anxious, because you will feel at peace with what it is that you know and comforted by this certainty, this inner knowing that all is well. I'm sensing so much trust coming from you. Trust in yourself, but most importantly, trust in the divine order of things, possibly the divine, a higher power, if you believe in a higher power. And so I see you being very much in the flow during Gemini season. And what I mean by that is you will be quite connected. I was going to say with ethereal energy, but it could be, I mean, if it did resonate. Yet, it seems like you are very much in tune or connected to the energy around you. So when it's time to go, let's say when it's time to step forward or take action, you will know. It will come as a knowing to you or as an impulse, kind of like you'll find yourself reaching out for the thing without even thinking about it or second guessing it, because it just feels so natural, because the energy, the flow of things is guiding you to do so, and you're going with it. And with fertility, this is all about cycles. So this season, I'm not sensing any resistance. For example, you experiencing resistance, blockages, or perceiving anything as a delay or a setback, because there's no resistance coming from you. Again, you are very much in the flow. You will know when it's time to let go of something, release control, surrender it. You'll know when it's time to begin something, and there won't be any questioning about it. And I don't mean this in the sense of you're following something blindly, because the star is all about intuition. It's about guidance. Therefore, this is about you not being at war with yourself or questioning every single move that you make because you are in fear or in doubt. I feel that this season, things will be a lot less difficult for you. Effortlessness will be a main theme for you, because as mentioned, you're taking inspired action. You're allowing yourself to be drawn to that which is of your highest good and is, let's say, in alignment with you. That which not only makes sense, let's say, logically, but it also makes sense to your inner being, to your soul. And I know some of these messages might be a little bit cringy or cliche or over the top, yet I'm getting a very spiritual and, like I said, ethereal vibe from the star card. So this season, I don't see you struggling to get by. I don't see you being at war with yourself or having any trouble with trusting in the divine order of things, or trusting that things will turn out well and that what you need to know will be revealed to you when it is time, when it will actually be of help to you. And all this might be due to the fact that during Gemini season, you don't necessarily have a goal in mind, or you're not placing any restrictions on yourself, because with the star card, I'm sensing someone who is open. It feels like when someone picks up a book that they haven't read any reviews about, or they haven't heard of before, they haven't read the synopsis of it, and so they go into it with a sense of neutrality and openness, because there are no preconceptions or expectations. And so because there is none of that, the book, the story, is able to take them on this ride. So if you enter Gemini season not really knowing what is going to happen next, not really having any expectations in mind, like if you don't have any plans, let's say, particular plans in mind at the start of this season or entering the season, don't take that as a bad thing, because that is an indicator that you are about to experience something new and that you are actually allowing yourself to come into alignment with that which either you have been asking for and are desiring, or that which is of your highest good. You know, it's like this season, you're no longer fighting the flow of the stream that you've been in for quite some time. Like maybe all this time you've been trying to resist the flow of the stream by swimming upstream. And now in Gemini season, for whatever reason, you're letting go and allowing for the stream to guide you. And that is making things easier for you, because the stream is guiding you exactly where you wanted to either end up or where you were fighting to get to. So it's like this season you're allowing for the cycles of life to be. And therefore you're either allowing for endings to occur as well as for new beginnings. Beginnings that were, I wanted to say dying, that were yearning to commence for some time now. And fertility is also making me think of rebirth. So with the Star card, it does seem like you are experiencing some kind of rebirth, some kind of awakening during Gemini season. It feels like a refresh. Maybe this season is a continuation of something that you left on hold in the past or that felt stuck for a while. Yeah, so I feel like this season you're going to get or feel unstuck. Yeah, there's growth and maturity during Gemini season. And I am seeing a renewal of faith and hope. And I keep thinking of effortlessness, like things feeling or coming easier to you. You feeling calm or at peace, tranquil, not being consumed by worries, anxious thoughts, and or disturbed by anxious feelings. You could also be changing your wardrobe or maybe appearance, aesthetic, but I feel like it's more of a free flow thing where you're just allowing yourself to be yourself, and again without any effort. So when you rummage through your closet, you're not spending hours trying to pick out an outfit. You just intuitively pick one and feel comfortable in it. It feels like everything is falling into place, like your hair is falling in place, the clothes that you're wearing is falling in place, so that nothing feels out of place or awkward. It feels right. And so I don't really see you concerning yourself about looking a certain way. It's more about allowing yourself to simply be and looking really good because of that. And I'm being very drawn to this person's haircut or hair color, because what I'm sensing is that this season you might choose to wear your hair naturally. And I know that might be a little bit confusing because Aquarius is often known as being quite eccentric, eclectic. For example, wearing really bright colors, dyeing their hair, and so forth. And I mean, that could be the case for some. Like if you really resonate with a specific hair color, you might be dyeing your hair that color or wearing your hair in a certain way that you really resonate with. But I feel like for the majority of you, it's more about you being comfortable with embracing your natural traits and characteristics. And with fertility, I do get the feeling that this season you will be giving birth to a new version of yourself, one that is way more comfortable with themselves, like comfortable being in their own skin, comfortable with their personality, comfortable with their quirks as well. I see you embracing yourself this season, not feeling awkward or embracing your awkwardness and standing out because of it, because your energy is coming through as very appealing. So when others see you, they will feel inspired by you, by your presence, by your energy, by the way that you carry yourself, because it's so natural, it's effortless, it's not pretentious or as trying too hard. And that in itself is such a breath of fresh air, and I feel like it alleviates people of some pressure to try and conform or be a certain way, look a certain way. It reminds others that, oh wait, it's okay, I can be myself. I don't have to look or behave or come off a certain way, because being raw is beautiful. Because the star is someone that stands out and is perceived as beautiful because they inspire beauty. And so I see others perceiving you, your energy, as beautiful, or you, your energy, your essence, inspiring beauty in others. So I keep talking about others when referring to your relationship with self, which I find quite interesting, because I feel like you are leaving a big impression or having a positive impact on others. And you yourself might not be very aware of it, because when it comes to you, I get a very nonchalant vibe, which is why I mentioned that I sense little to no worry or stress coming from you during the season. Because even though you're shining this bright, though I'm getting a very soft, like a soft light, soft energy from you guys, you're going about your days as if you weren't emitting this light, which is quite interesting. I just see you being yourself. And when it comes to your relationship with self, it's so nonchalant as well. Like, I'm not sensing a lot of chatter, like inner chatter, dialogue. So it seems like during this season, there isn't a lot of inner criticism going on, self-deprecation, or like I said, self-doubt. You're at ease with yourself. So, okay, the best way I can express what I'm picking up on is that your relationship with yourself will be pretty chill during this season. You're vibing with yourself. Like, you're okay with who you are. There's no stress. It's pretty chill, which is nice. At least the way that I'm perceiving it, what I'm sensing, it's nice, it's calm, it's peaceful, it's relaxing. And some of you could be working at a diner, at a cafe, coffee shop, or restaurant, as a server perhaps, waiter, waitress. And if so, I don't see you finding work stressful during Gemini season. As mentioned, you're doing things quite effortlessly, like the work, what you need to do, and so forth. If you tend to be quite clumsy, I see you adapting to this clumsy behavior this season in a way that you might find yourself being less clumsy or just being prepared, so that at the end of the day, even though you might have been clumsy, there were no accidents. Like, it's reminding me of Jack Sparrow, how his shenanigans seemed planned at times, but in actuality, well, I believe they were things that he came up with in the moment, or that just happened because he went along with the flow of things. So this season, the clumsiness will seem very intentional. Like, I meant to do that, or I knew that was coming and I was prepared for it. Like, you saw me drop that bottle, but then you also saw me catch it in time before it hit the floor. That sort of thing. Like I said, I see you being very comfortable with yourself. There being little to no awkwardness or self-consciousness. You're just quite at ease and relaxed with who you are. And it's showing. Other people can sense it, perceive it, and it's quite comforting. It's quite relaxing to others as well. Yeah, so you might have people being drawn to you during this time. And if people go up to you or stand next to you, sit next to you, when you're out and about, they might not necessarily strike a conversation with you. They might just find themselves being drawn to you because your energy is so peaceful. So they might stand next to you in silence, just allowing themselves to be in this peaceful, calm energy that you are exuding. Yeah, so it's very lovely. I hope I conveyed this quite well because it's a very lovely energy. Now, moving on to your relationship with others. We have the Ace of Wands and the Emperor. So Aces always speak of new beginnings. And Wand energy has to do with passion and action, creativity. So I see a new passionate beginning with an Emperor perhaps, or with an endeavor. Because the Emperor does represent stability, ambition, as well as authority. And we do have power here as the clarifier. So you might be starting a new project, a creative endeavor perhaps during Gemini season. And through you starting this, you might be meeting someone who has a lot of the Emperor traits and characteristics. So this will be someone who is a higher up or has some level of authority or influence in, a company, a field, an industry, possibly a community. This is someone who has power, authority. This is also someone who has experience or knowledge of something and has resources, because the Emperor makes me think of someone who is well established. So you could end up working with or collaborating with an Emperor, let's say. And if I didn't mention this already, the Emperor is associated with the zodiac sign Aries. So this could be an Aries sun, moon, or rising person, or a fire sun, moon, or rising person. But they don't have to be, because again, they could simply be demonstrating a lot of the fire-like characteristics. If you currently work a 9-to-5 job, this could also be someone at work, a colleague, or perhaps a supervisor, a manager, a boss figure, for example. If it's not someone that you are, let's say, collaborating with, this is someone who you might work under. And with this message of obstacles are placed in our way to see if what we want is really worth fighting for, this person could present a few challenges to you during this season. Because in the illustration of the Emperor, we have someone who appears to be contemplating on something. And so you could be presenting an idea to this Emperor here, and instead of saying yes to it right away, instead of giving their signature of approval, let's say, or maybe funding it perhaps, or proceeding with it, they are instead questioning it or contemplating on whether they do want to move forward or proceed with this. They could even be offering their own opinions about it, or could be hinting at you that they want to move in a different direction from what you are currently presenting. And that might end up being a little bit frustrating to you. Or what I'm seeing with power is that you will see this as a perfect opportunity to practice speaking up or advocating for what it is that you believe in, standing your ground or standing up for yourself or your beliefs or an idea, possibly even a project. Because I feel like when it comes to your relationship with others, this season it's about you finding your voice and you staying true to you. And the Ace of Wands can speak of inspired action. So I did mention you having inspired action when referring to your relationship with self. And so this season, there will be a lot of inspired action. And some of this inspired action might take you by surprise, because if you are someone who is often quiet and reserved, who goes along with what others say, who doesn't tend to, in a way, fight back or keeps quiet about things, then this season it will be quite the opposite. Because the example or the scenario that is coming to mind is of someone presenting an idea to a committee and someone in the committee interrupting, saying that they don't like it or that it's not going to work or that they should consider something else. And instead of the presenter simply taking that, they are choosing to advocate for their idea. Give the reasons as to why this idea is good, why it's worth giving a shot. Like asking the people, the committee, the person who is objecting the idea to reconsider. It's like this feeling of not giving in or giving up too soon because there was opposition or there was some inconvenience, minor inconvenience, right? Because the Ace of Wands is all about passion. So I see you being quite passionate this season in the sense of you're voicing your opinions. You're talking about the things that interest you, that you are passionate about. You're not feeling or being ashamed of how passionate you are about certain things. And when it comes to authority, I don't see you being intimidated by it. And I feel like it's all coming from you being so at ease with yourself, because with the Star card, it's like this season you're not really taking yourself seriously. And I don't mean that in the way of you're not considering yourself as an important person, because you are. Yet what I mean by not taking yourself seriously is that you're not being super self-conscious. It's like you're understanding yourself, your humanness, and in doing so you're also understanding the humanness of others. And so in not taking yourself too seriously, you're also not taking others too seriously, which again doesn't mean that you aren't seeing their importance, because you are, or that you're disrespecting anybody, yet you're not putting anyone on a pedestal, either above or below you. And so when it comes to authority figures or people who have some title or level of influence, you're not intimidated by that. Because when you're talking to a person, you're simply talking to a person. You're not talking to their title. You're not talking to their status or their profession. You're talking to the person themselves. And so this season, I do see you dealing with people of, let's say, power, influence, or authority. And you might experience some resistance coming from them. And if you do, remember, this is to allow you the opportunity to demonstrate that you are no longer intimidated by this power, that you can speak to it face to face without cowering in fear or in insecurity or in hesitation, that you are also someone of power because your voice has power, your presence has power. And I feel like this season you are learning that to command a room, let's say, to demonstrate influence doesn't have to come through disrespect through yelling and screaming, through speaking over others, rejecting others' ideas, or silencing others when they don't agree with you. Influence can come from creating space for yourself and others to meet on equal grounds, to discuss. It can come from being civilized with others and holding respect for yourself. This season, you are redefining what power means and what it means to hold power, as well as the difference between having power versus personal power. You will learn the difference between self-assuredness versus arrogance. Therefore, you will also be understanding the influence you have on others and how impactful your voice and presence actually is. This season, you will be called to contemplate on whether being right or having the last word in every discussion or argument is worth the fight, and if oftentimes you are more worried about winning rather than finding or recognizing the truth. Because this season, there might be heated discussions that can elevate into heated arguments if not careful. A power struggle may ensue because wounded egos or inferiority complexes aren't being tempered and acknowledged. I also see you comparing and contrasting the past or the then with the here and now, because if this hasn't happened already, sometime during Gemini season, I do see you experiencing some kind of leveling up where your status or title will be changing. With the Star card representing your energy or your relationship with self, it's very likely that during Gemini season, you are going to have some kind of popularity or you will have or acquire a high level of status or some kind of title that will give you recognition and authority as well as influence. And this might change you a bit, and or it might change your relationship with others, especially those who you have known for quite some time, been in a relationship with quite some time. You will see or come to understand if it is true that title, recognition, status, fame, let's say, really changes people or it changes how others treat you. Because I am sensing that you will see some difference and you will experience some changes. Not only when it comes to your relationship with power and authority, but also your relationship with others after acquiring this kind of status or popularity or recognition. Yeah, because the Emperor here looks quite contemplative. So I do sense you noticing some major differences as a result of some kind of leveling up that you're going through, or that maybe you are already currently experiencing. But now moving on to your romantic love life, we have the Eight of Pentacles and the Hanged Man. So the Eight of Pentacles indicates hard work, dedication, practice, as well as discipline. And the Hanged Man can indicate patience, introspection, as well as a change in perspective or perception. And it's known to be a very spiritual card because it is associated with Pisces. And since this is the 12th major arcana, it does remind me of the 12th house in astrology, which is all about the subconscious or the unconscious mind, the unseen. So if you are currently in a relationship, this season, I do see you working on your relationship, but through working on yourself, doing some kind of inner work. And the Hanged Man does make me think of slowing down or pausing. So some of you might choose to take a break from your relationship or slow things down with your partner this season in order to answer a few questions that you might have, either about yourself, your role in this relationship, or where you want this relationship to head. But honestly, I do sense that a lot of you do want to deepen your relationship with your partner. And so I see a willingness to do so through you self-reflecting, introspecting, seeing what needs to be worked upon, what needs to be addressed in order to improve certain areas in your relationship. For example, if you have noticed that there is a lack of communication, or that you struggle with communicating your thoughts, your feelings to your partner, or being vulnerable with them, or that maybe there are some, fears, insecurities, limited beliefs that keep you from communicating freely, openly, and honestly with your partner, then this season you might be addressing that and brushing up on your communication skills to improve that specific area in your relationship, the area of communication. So this to me speaks of commitment, actually, like someone who is wanting to work on themselves, to better their relationship with someone that they care about and love, not only speaks of commitment, but also of consideration. And this is not about changing yourself to please another, because I'm really not sensing any of that with these cards, because the Hanged Man speaks about one's inner world, right? So this is more so about you addressing the things that from a while back you knew or had an inkling, felt that needed to be addressed when it came to you. Like going back to that example of brushing up on your communication skills. This is not only for the sake of your relationship and your partner, but it's also for you. Because if this is resonating, maybe a lack of communication or insecurity, complexes around communication have affected not only your romantic love life, but your relationships in general. And not only with others, but maybe even with yourself. Because maybe you also have trouble being honest and clear and sincere with yourself about what it is that you want, your boundaries, and so forth. And looking at this Eight of Pentacles, I can't help but think of someone who is working on a surprise, on a gift for their partner. So a lot of you could actually be creating something with your own hands to gift to your partner during Gemini season. Or some of you could actually be working on a surprise event for your partner. But if you are currently in separation or you have taken a break from a relationship, this season I don't necessarily see you coming back together with your person or reconciling or resuming this relationship or connection, because I see you continuing to work on yourself or work on making sense of something. Like mentioned, the Hangman can speak about perspective and contemplation. So I do see you taking the time during Gemini season to get clear about something when it comes to your relationship or your approach to romantic love, to romantic relationships in general. Getting clear about what it is that you want, how you want to move forward, maybe in this relationship or maybe simply in your life. Because the Eight of Pentacles does focus on work, on skills. So a lot of you could actually be taking a break from a relationship or just maybe romantic love, romantic relationships, in order to focus on your work, to focus on your goals, personal goals, to introspect on what it is that you want to do, like what your passions are outside of this area of life, romantic love. And I feel like this season, if you are currently in separation, you're also creating this distance or pausing in order to self-reflect and get honest with yourself about your feelings, like how you truly feel about your person, the situation, if you are in a situationship. Because with the Eight of Pentacles, I am sensing something along the lines of raising the bar, like creating new standards. And the Hangman also makes me think of that, like having a new insight, as mentioned, a new perspective, perception on romantic love and partnership, and what possibly you are worthy of. Because the Hangman can also speak about letting go, a need to release. So if you are hesitating in a relationship, or if you have been experiencing hesitation in a relationship, I feel like this season you're really addressing that. Instead of allowing yourself to be carried away by something, you're pausing in order to ask yourself if this is the route, the direction that you really want to continue heading in. And this pause is really allowing for you to question a lot of old beliefs that you had and look into patterns that you were following to see if you at this moment truly align with them and where they came from. Like, how did these patterns start? Where do these beliefs and ideas that you have been upholding come from? Where do they stem from? So this season, I do see you coming out of or releasing some beliefs that possibly were limiting you in some way, or were based on fears and insecurities, were based on doubt and maybe even self-deprecation or skepticism. Because I feel like this season you're going all out. Like you're finding the courage or the inspiration to ask for what it is that you truly want without hesitation, to possibly even write down what it is that you want to experience in a romantic relationship or with your partner. Yeah, I'm seeing you kind of releasing inhibition, and there's this feeling of not settling for less than because you feel or you believe that you're not worthy of that which you actually desire. So if you have been struggling with a lack mentality or with like self-consciousness, as mentioned before, inferiority complexes, I feel like this season you're breaking out of that, or you're letting go of it. And that is allowing for you to really be honest with yourself about what you want in terms to romantic love, and also about your feelings, possibly how you feel about someone, because maybe for a while now you have been holding back on your feelings. You've struggled with truly accepting how much you feel for someone, or letting yourself express the totality of your affection, adoration, love for someone. So this season, expect to get clarity on either your feelings or maybe your role in a situation, what you need to work upon, what limited beliefs or insecurities have possibly been hindering or affecting a romantic relationship that you're currently in, or your relationship with your significant other, your approach to someone that you have romantic feelings for, etc. And for those of you who are single, I don't necessarily see you coming together with someone during Gemini season, because I feel like this time you are utilizing it to either attract, call in, or manifest a specific romantic relationship or romantic experience. This Eight of Pentacles illustration is making me think of someone who is writing down, jotting down notes about what they want in a romantic partner, or what they want to experience, or what they're truly desiring. And magic makes me think of manifesting, attracting. And so with the Hangman, I feel like for those of you who are single, you are working on your love life, on improving your love life, or creating some kind of change or movement in your love life through you working on yourself and working at a subconscious level. And the word that just came to mind was subliminals. So some of you could actually be working with subliminals during Gemini season, but there's something here about reprogramming your subconscious mind so that your subconscious can match and align with your conscious awareness, right? Because sometimes we can say that we want for certain things, but at a deep subconscious level, we might not truly align with those thoughts. There might still be, let's say, beliefs, ideas, fears that resist what it is that we say we want or what we're aiming for. Like, to give an example, let's say someone says they want a partner who loves and accepts them as they are. Yet, deep down, this person is still holding this belief that they are not worthy of love, or that there are parts of themselves that are unworthy, right? So there's a discongruency there. There's dissonance between what the person says they want versus what they truly believe in. And so I feel like this season, you're balancing things out. Like you're matching your statements with what you know to be true. And I feel that is assisting with you being open and receptive to that which you actually do want and desire. Because when there is inner conflict like that, when there is a mismatch, we can oftentimes reject that which we're trying to call in or manifest because we don't fully believe in it. So that's why it's important to match our beliefs with our statements. And I'm not sensing any hurry or any rush during Gemini season, like a need, a desperation to be in a partnership, to meet your person, or to experience romantic love, because I'm actually sensing a lot of excitement when it comes to the process of manifesting, of, addressing subconscious beliefs and programmings when it comes to romantic love. Like I see you excited about rewriting a narrative possibly, or with feeling comfortable and free to actually express and say that which you want. Because if in the past there was some hesitation to simply admit to yourself, I want a loving partner. I want a partner who deems me beautiful. I want a relationship that is mutual, that is respectful. This season, you're not holding back. There's no hesitation. It's very freeing. Like, I can say what I want without guilt, without shame, without awkwardness or fear. I can say it freely and proudly and feel some sort of certainty about it. Like, I state this because I know that it can happen, because I know that it will happen. It's just a matter of time. So I see you being in that energy. And this feels like a breakthrough when it comes to this area of life. And the Hanged Man is now reminding me of a chrysalis or a cocoon. And so this seems like the last step of a transformation, like the last stage in a blossoming or in a flourishing, because I feel like what is coming next for you after Gemini season possibly is you actually seeing the fruits of this inner work, of these changes and alterations that you have made, of you allowing yourself to be honest, to be real, to be sincere, of you not settling for less, let's say, or seeing yourself as unworthy. So maybe it's not in Gemini season where you are coming into union with a partner that truly embodies all of that which you have been calling in, or at a soul level aligns with you. Yet that doesn't mean that the next season, Leo season, let's say, or further in the year, you won't get to come into union with this person, because I feel you will. With magic, you will. I feel like you're on your way to that. This season feels more like a revelation for you. Like the stars we're waiting. I say stars because we have the star card here and we have stars in the pentacles. Like the stars, the universe, you yourself were waiting for you to acknowledge, to accept, to realize that this kind of love is possible for you and it was always meant for you, that you are worthy of it. They were simply waiting for you to embrace it, to call it in yourself, to not fear it or run away from it or shy away from it, to be open to it. And that's what you're doing this season. You're opening up to it. And that is what is allowing for this partner, let's say, to come in sometime in the future. So if you are single and you have been single for a while and you have been an active participant where you've been putting yourself out there, meeting people, mingling, going on dates in order to, meet someone who you vibe with and resonate with, this season, I still see you being an active participant, taking initiative, yet in a different manner, because I don't necessarily see you going out on dates or putting yourself out there, let's say. I feel like you're taking a break from that in order to, like mentioned previously, work either on yourself, on your subconscious mind, on releasing limited beliefs or reassessing your beliefs, maybe even patterns. If you are someone who has been dating people but it hasn't been working out, kind of looking into if there has been a pattern, if you attract people with a specific kind of behavior or specific kind of patterns that just don't work for you, and then seeing why. Like, why is it that you are attracted to these people that are showing the same kind of behaviors or patterns? Like, what beliefs or notions are directing you towards that specific energy? And then through that, making those assessments, recognizing what adjustments you need to make, and then making them, because oftentimes we think, oh, these kind of people are just drawn to me, but it could be the other way around, right? It may be us who is drawn to those people for a reason. Sometimes we aren't fully aware of why we are drawn to certain people or things or environments, because that information is kept in our subconscious mind. And so to get that awareness, we really need to dive deep, introspect, notice, be observative, and notice the patterns. Like, for example, if there is a subconscious fear of commitment, because there is an underlying fear of being abandoned, then we might be drawn to partners or people who are not ready to commit or who are wishy-washy. So in order to change that, we must first address our fears of abandonment and then change our subconscious beliefs or ideas about commitment, so that we will no longer feel an attraction to or be drawn to people who are not wanting or willing to commit, or who are runners, Yeah, so I see a lot of growth and development when it comes to your approach to romantic love, relationships, partners. I see you also reframing your thinking around love, what it means to be in love, what it means to be in a relationship and a partnership, and being honest about your feelings and what you believe to be deserving of. And I don't see you shying away from or being embarrassed about believing in something more, believing in maybe that fairy tale romance, believing in eternal love, believing in true love, believing in commitment, because I see you going all out this season. There's no inhibition. You're not limiting yourself to what is or isn't possible when it comes to romance, when it comes to love, when it comes to partnership. You're allowing yourself to believe in magic and the power of belief. The power of honesty and sincerity. Okay, but let's see. Things I want to point out. The 12th, the 14th, and the 17th of June may be important and or significant days. And from the 1st to the 4th of June, that could be an important window of time. Especially when it comes to your career, your creative endeavors, personal projects, passion projects, or maybe the creative arts, let's say, or your status, your influence in a community, in an industry, and so forth. Because this season, I do see you focusing on something that you are quite passionate about, on your career, your profession, on a skill, hobbies perhaps, or on a trade. I see you being quite focused and entertained by a personal pursuit of yours, like a passion project, for example. Yeah, and if you are someone who tends to focus a lot on relationships, on romantic love, or when you will meet your person, or when you will come back together with someone, I feel like you having this hobby, I was going to say quest, you having this skill or trade that you are being quite engaged by is helping you to get your mind off of this subject, which I feel is allowing for things to move or to flow when it comes to this area of life. Because sometimes when we focus too much on something, we create resistance. Because imagine your focus being like a hand, right? And so when you're focusing on something, you're like gripping onto it. You're not allowing for it to move in any direction. You're simply holding on to it, keeping it close. And so focus does help to direct our intentions, our energy. But once we have done so, like set our intentions, it helps to redirect our focus onto something else so that whatever we were focusing on before, we can allow it to breathe and to bloom and flourish and do its own thing. So you might be very focused on career, on hobbies, creative endeavors, personal projects, personal growth, development, maybe your status, your reputation, or maybe something that you have already been working on, and so forth. Okay, but something else I want to point out, stars or star-shaped things could be of significance. I feel stars for you this season might symbolize or indicate that whatever it is that you're doing or thinking is of your highest good or is in alignment with your soul, with your inner being, or they might be an indicator that you are on the right track, on the right path. It could also symbolize that you are about to experience something that will renew your faith or strengthen your faith, or that will confirm something to you. So stars may symbolize you receiving some kind of confirmation. Okay, but let's see. Flowers might also be important, especially lilies. Like any variation of a lily flower could be important during Gemini season. It might be through lilies how your person connects to you or sends you messages or lets you know that they are about to come into your life, or you're about to receive a physical, tangible communication from them, or that you are connecting with them, or they're trying to connect with you psychically, intuitively, energetically, that their presence, their higher self is with you or around you. Yeah, but these, and I do want to point out one last time the astrological signs. So we have Aquarius, Aries, and Pisces. So just keep those in mind because those might be important signs and or seasons. Okay, but these are all the messages I am seeing for you guys. I hope you enjoyed this reading. I hope it brought some guidance, some clarity. If it did, then please leave a like or a comment. And if you are new to this channel and you want to stick around for more readings with me, Kim, then please do subscribe. I do offer personal readings. All the information is in my website, and the link to my website can be found in the description box down below. Thank you so much for watching until the very end, and to all of you who took the time to watch the advertisements or just let them run in the background, thank you so much for that, since that is the simplest way to support me and to support this channel. So if you did, I truly do appreciate it. And before I sign off, I want to give a thanks to Spirit, your higher self, and the higher self of your significant other, present or future, for assisting me with delivering these messages to you. I am wishing you and your loved ones a wonderful Gemini season, and until the next moment, bye bye.